providing professional broadcast training to qualified Nassau Community College students.
And sounding better than ever.
FM,
HD,
Amazon Echo,
Google Home,
the TuneIn Radio app,
the iHeartRadio app,
and nccradio.org.
The voice of Nassau Community College.
This is the award-winning 90.3 WHPC.
WHPC HD, Garden City.
On the air, everywhere.
Welcome to another edition of From the Press Box on this Labor Day, September 3rd, 2018. Of course, From the Press Box is part of the WHPC Sports Talk family, which has sports on Mondays at 5, Tuesdays at 5 p.m., Thursdays at 9 p.m., and Fridays at 3 p.m. So lots of sports here at WHPC, different voices, different variations on the same topic. I'm Rob Leonard. Joining me, of course, is award-winning sports writer and my brother, Tim Leonard. How you doing, brother?
Doing well. We are live. Let's tell the people we are live.
We are live. It
tape.
is 9:01 and 56 seconds just to show we're live. Give us a call, 516-572-7440. First of all, brother, happy birthday to our cousin Maura.
Happy birthday, Maura.
Who turns a certain age today. And, of course, we were not able to get down for our Aunt Pat and Cousin Shorty celebration that's happening in St. Augustine.
That was unfortunate.
Which is very unfortunate. But we heard that the golf outing, which was on miniature golf this time.
Yes, miniature golf.
Instead of
Mom actually played, too.
Yeah, that was fun. And I heard she quit after 17 holes.
I saw that she was playing left-handed, and I still don't know why.
She's not lefty.
Wow. According to Suzanne, that's what she does. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Whatever works for Mom.
Yeah, so anyway, so I heard who won? Who was it?
Apparently, Cousin Andrew and Cousin Chris finished in a tie. And
Wow.
and I got the details, and I'll give them briefly. But apparently, in the last hole, you know how it is miniature golf. If you ever played miniature golf, on the last hole, when the ball goes in, it goes back to the office or the main, the big house, whatever you want to call it.
And if you hit the bell, you're supposed to get a free game or
whatever.
Something, a toy.
But apparently, Andrew hit his shot, and they couldn't find the ball, so they figured it was a hole-in-one because nobody got around to the other side to see. So then Chris hit his shot with the understanding that he needed a hole-in-one to tie Andrew. Well, Chris hits his shot, and it goes like it's one of those the final hole where it winds up going in it could go in any of four different directions.
Right.
Chris's ball winds up hitting Andrew's ball, which had gotten stuck in the tube. Both balls come out, and they both go in the hole. So they figured Cousin Shorty was probably looking down on him for that.
He set that up.
That bit, and probably having himself a good laugh too.
Cousin Shorty loved a good laugh.
Cousin Shorty liked a good prank too,
especially on his nephew Andrew.
Yes. So, but they decided that they finished tied for first because of that.
Wow, a new understanding.
Yes.
You remember the first Leonard Road rally. Where Uncle Chris
hyper competitive.
Where Uncle Chris had to cheat in the thrift store. The cheapest thing was, 30 cents?
I gave him credit for that.
I do, too.
Because he took the rules. He certainly bent them.
Oh, God, yeah.
To an extreme. But he managed the task. And I know everybody was mad about that, but
he cheated.
He did cheat, but it was very
cheat.
Creative.
It was a creative cheat because
I had to respect it.
The rule was you had to find the cheapest thing in the
thrift store.
And the cheapest thing was 30 cents
or a quarter or whatever.
No,
I think
30 cents.
whatever it was. I think I've had a tie for a quarter.
So Chris, being Chris, goes to the cashier and goes, "Hey, can you make it like 29 cents and 1 cent?" Instead of
I got two things here. Ring one up for 49 cents. Ring the other up for a penny.
He didn't do that. No, he didn't do that. It was the one thing. He said, "Can you do it too?" And the person says, "Yeah, sure, we can do that."
Yeah, they don't care.
So then he shows the receipt of 1 cent.
1 cent.
And cousin Kevin, who was running the event, says, "Oh, well, I know you're lying.
What's going on here?
I know you're. I've seen this before, cousin Chris."
Yes, exactly.
And it was a big Leonard.
A lot
fight.
of brouhaha going on.
Big Leonard fight.
A lot of beer and a lot of brouhaha.
Yep. So very, very interesting.
Yes, brew and brouhaha.
Yes, that's true.
But yeah, they avoided that this time. You know,
They do.
with golf, you count strokes. It's not, you know, it's really difficult, especially mini golf. It's really hard to cheat in mini golf.
That's true.
It's not like you're improving your lie or anything. So, you know, it's good. Good to hear that the family's having a good time. They also planted a tree in Aunt Pat's memory at the library at St. Augustine. So if you're ever down at St. Augustine, say hello to my aunt's tree.
I'm sure there's a tribute for Sean at Oliver's in
Laurel.
In
Yes.
Laurel.
Yes.
Which was his
There already
home
is.
away
He's
from
probably got like a golden stool there or something.
or at least a picture of him up there. So.
Absolutely. Smiling, having a good time, raising the glass.
We miss both of them. They were
Absolutely.
They were good people. Anyway, brother, let's talk sports as we do every Monday. Of course, it becomes a podcast later on for those who don't get the whole show or want to hear it again or whatever. Anyway, you want to start off with the Yankees, or do you want to start off with something you've been talking about last couple of weeks, and that's Teddy Bridgewater being traded, which you brought up?
Yeah, let's start football.
You said that specifically. That's why I want to actually.
How about that, huh? And was I right?
You were.
I'm even more right today than I was last week.
Okay. Well, what did you do?
Well, here's the deal. All right. As everybody should know by now, the Jets last week, it was not long after the show. Two things happened not long after the show last week. One was that the Jets traded Teddy Bridgewater, and two was that the Giants reached a contract agreement with Odell Beckham Jr. But as far as Teddy Bridgewater goes, and I had said this for a while, that the solution for the Jets was to trade Teddy Bridgewater before the season, or I thought they should bring him in, let him start. Why are you moving stuff? Let him start and let him build his value. That was, to me, a good thing for the Jets to do. But finances, they didn't want to have that much money invested in the quarterback position because they're paying Josh McCown $10 million. They're not going to cut him because if the plan is to trade Teddy Bridgewater, well, now then you're going to have Sam Darnold by himself, and who's going to be the backup? They're not going to have one. So my solution was keep Teddy Bridgewater, let him build up his value, and with the hope of getting a number one pick for him. And instead, the Jets traded Bridgewater to the New Orleans Saints early last week for a third-round pick in next year's draft. And the Jets had to send the Saints a sixth-round pick. So it's not enough that they're trading a quarterback who's had success in the league and showed himself in preseason to be healed from the ghastly knee injury that he suffered 2 years ago that required reconstructive surgery on his knee, but a third-round pick.
Why would the Jets give this all up, though? Why?
Well,
that's a lot.
It became a money issue for them because Bridgewater's only on a one-year deal.
So?
All right, but let me.
I understand why they got rid of Teddy Bridgewater. Why would they give away? They should have got better draft picks. They should have got. The
Jets should have gotten at minimum a second-round pick
at least.
And let me go on. I'll explain why I say that when people say, "Oh, that's too much," and McCagnon did a good deal. I'm sorry, he didn't do a good deal. All right, the point that I'm making here is you can't tell me that McCagnon couldn't have done better and couldn't have gotten a second-rounder from somebody. And I'll tell you why. Based on what the Giants did yesterday. All right? The Giants cut Davis Webb yesterday, who was a third-round pick.
I was shocked by that.
A lot of people are surprised because before the NFL draft and before the Giants took Saquon Barkley, it was kind of the word around Giants camp was, well, they think Davis Webb can eventually be Eli's successor. So that's why we're not taking Sam Darnold, and we're going to take Saquon Barkley because we think Eli's got another couple of years left, and we don't think quarterback is an area of desperate need for us. No. And so we don't need to plan for the future. And besides, we have Davis Webb. Well, the Giants cut Davis Webb yesterday. What was Davis Webb? A third-round pick. So if you're running an NFL franchise, do you spend a third-round pick on a college quarterback who is untested, who you don't know whether or not he can play at the NFL level? A first-rounder brings an air of certainty, although not all of them do because Paxton Lynch of the Broncos got cut yesterday, too. He was a late first-round pick a couple years ago. But a first-round pick will give you some certainty at the position. Davis Webb was a dart thrown at a board And that's what he was. So, and you hope because the kid he's got a great arm, but you hope that he'll be able to play at an NFL level.
I thought he looked good in the preseason.
The second game he did. The first game he looked terrible.
Well,
so the Giants basically at this point wasted that third round pick. What did the New Orleans Saints do? They just sent a third round pick to the Jets for Teddy Bridgewater, who in his rookie year was the offensive rookie of the year in the NFL. And yes, he's had 2 years where he didn't play. He played one game in 2 years last season. But now certainly looks healthy and performed very well in the preseason. Why not spend that third round pick like the Saints did and take a guy who brings some measure of certainty to the position? Now, the Saints are going to have to sign Bridgewater to an extension to make the trade work. Otherwise, they just bought themselves a backup for this season because, like I said, he's got a one-year deal, $6 million. The Jets have already paid him $1 million of that. So basically, the Saints got him for $5 million. But
not bad.
I will take any day. I will take that deal where I am trading a third-round pick for a guy who I know at least can do it in the league and has done it in the league. Whereas the Giants now, their third quarterback is a kid named Kyle Lauletta, who was a fourth-round pick this year, who they have no idea what he can do. Played a couple of the exhibition games. He played okay, but they have no clue what he can do when as they say, when the lights go on for the real NFL season. So why? I mean, I'm surprised the Giants didn't get in on this because why not use a third-round pick? Get Teddy Bridgewater, and what else are the Giants spending on quarterback? The Giants have no money invested in quarterbacks besides Eli, who obviously is making a lot of money. But if you can pay a backup quarterback like Teddy Bridgewater $5 million this year, and then sign him to an extension, I don't know, 2 years for $20 million, and make it $7 million for next year and $13 million the year after that, and the year after the $13 million year would be the year that Bridgewater would take over. And here's why that would have been an even better deal for the Giants. Wait. Here's why it would have been an even better deal for the Giants. You just signed Odell Beckham Jr. to the big money extension. You have Saquon Barkley as your running back. Two young guys. Eli's not going to be there when these guys are in the middle of their contracts. Teddy Bridgewater would be.
I would not have done that because I think with Eli, especially yesterday's paper, John Mara basically said, hey, it was our fault, my fault about what happened with Eli last year. Eli's your guy. So
but he's not going to last forever. You have to plan
I know
for the
that,
future.
but bringing in a guy like Teddy Bridgewater says, well, we don't really trust because he's a good player.
It doesn't say we don't trust
well,
you.
Anyway,
you bring him in with the understanding that he's going to be the backup.
Thing. Let's move on to.
But I'm saying if that to me would be a team that knows what they're doing and is preparing for the future, as opposed to saying, hey, we have our old quarterback who Eli's not a young guy anymore.
He's 37 or something.
He's not a young guy.
I know that, but what I'm saying is I think the Giants are going the next 2 years, we're going all out. And that's why they signed Odell. That's why they're looking for what they're looking at. And I don't blame them. And they worry about the quarterback after this season, unless Eli gets hurt. And then that's
but here was an opportunity.
Yeah, but you're not going to sit Teddy Bridgewater.
And Teddy Bridgewater's going to sit in New Orleans. He's playing behind Drew Brees.
Yeah,
he's not starting this year unless Drew Brees gets hurt.
But that's New Orleans. No, it's not New York.
What does that mean?
You've covered. You're a sports writer, Tim. You know what sports writers write about. Come on, it's New York.
All Teddy Bridgewater has to do is come in and sit. If the GM, that's all about perception.
I know that, Tim,
and that's what the GM does when he makes the trade. He says, "We're bringing Teddy in to be the backup."
The Giants don't want bad press this year.
We're bringing Teddy in to be the backup.
I know that.
That's all I have to say.
But then speculation starts. Then Eli has a bad game. Oh, why wasn't Teddy Bridgewater put in?
There's no speculation.
Yes, there is. It's
There's
New
no
York,
speculation.
Tim. How can you say that? You're a New York sports writer.
Come on.
Don't be an idiot.
It's not being an idiot.
You are.
You're being an idiot.
You're being an idiot.
You're being the idiot.
You're to be the idiot.
It's ridiculous. You're sitting here making stuff up.
I'm not making stuff up.
All they have to do is say at the press conference when they get traded, we're bringing Teddy in to be the backup, and we think he'll have a future role here.
Yeah,
Eli knows he's not going to play forever.
I know that.
Eli can retire after the season, for all you know.
Won't.
How do you know?
I wouldn't have gotten rid of Davis Webb, but that's me.
Davis Webb is not a good quarterback.
I
If you're going to keep Kyle Lauletta